Shalom, shalom, shalom. All praises to the Most High Yah. I do hope that you're well and that you are still trusting only in Yah. This is truly the day that Yah has made, and I will rejoice and be glad in it. As I've always done on this channel, first I want to say welcome to all the newcomers to the channel. I want to say thank you to the sisters that reached out and said that they are praying with me in regards to the lady that needs a place to live. Thank you for your prayers, and I'm going to encourage you to continue to pray, even for this country, because we have a real serious homeless situation here, and the government seems to be very much overwhelmed with what's happening here in the Bahamas as it relates to homelessness. So thank you for praying. I saw today still at the same spot. Just went to check on her to see if she was okay, and she's still hanging in there. So thank you for your prayers, thank you for your support, and that for God. I just want to encourage you to pray that we would pray for each other. I believe we have an obligation, a responsibility based on the Torah to take care of those that are less fortunate than us, and to be a voice for the voiceless. And so I want to encourage you that wherever you are, and whatever you can do to help those that are in need, it only takes a little. It don't take a lot. You don't need to be rich and wealthy. You just need to have a heart to help, a heart of compassion and empathy, a spirit of kindness. So I want to encourage you with that as much as you can, but whatever you can. Praying is good, but a lot of people need the prayers, but they also need physical, natural assistance. And I can tell you right here in this New Providence, there are a lot of people who are living in some serious, deplorable situations. So whatever you can do, kind word, but also a tin of corned beef or a tin of tuna goes a long way. All praises to the Most High. So I want to encourage you, like I was saying, thank you for subscribing to the channel. I do hope you're being encouraged. Because that's all I seek to do, and to also encourage you. Everything here is about encourage you in your walk with the Most High, and also in helping or being support for your brother and sister who may be in need. That is our duty. That is what the Torah is about, teaching us how to live with each other in common unity and community. That's what the laws were for. How to live before Yah. And when you live before Yah, automatically your love for Yah should go out to your brothers and sisters, because you can't say you love Yah and don't love people. It's impossible. You understand? It's impossible. So I want to encourage you, but as I've been encouraging you, if you're going to if you are going to big up anyone, if you're going to brag on anyone, if you are going to boast on anyone, let it be Yah, because only Yah alone is worthy to be praised. Hallelujah, hallelujah. There is a lot going on as usual, and there is much more going on in the U.S., but I'm going to speak about that in another video. I'm going to start addressing things that's in my spirit. I'm just going to talk about it. And that's what I'm about to do here. I'm going to talk about some stuff that has been happening, and things that is really just, it's pressed on my spirit. I find it irritating. And I'm just going to address it. I'm going to start addressing some of these social situations and immoral situations that has been happening in our community. But the U.S. is in a league all by itself. But I'll talk about that, like I said, in another video. Hallelujah. So what I'm going to talk to you about today is specifically to persons who would have experienced sexual assault and rape. You may not know, some of you may not know, but for the last year, almost 20 months, I've been involved in advocacy, a child advocate. I've always been a child advocate, but I've just now joined an organization whose focus is on advocating for the rights and protection of children. And I'm also a part of an organization that focuses on advocating for women. And so this came about because, well, truly, in 2021, I was honestly, I was getting ready to leave. I'm a Bahamian. I live, by being landing here in the Bahamas. And to everyone, to the whole world, the Bahamas is a paradise. But it's a paradise to those who come and leave. But for us who live here, there's some serious issues in this country. Troubling. And so for me, from 2017, I stopped listening to the news in the Bahamas. The only news I got was what came to me on WhatsApp, if I saw something on Facebook, but to actually sit down and listen to the news, I didn't do it. I drove with my radio off. Sometimes I would listen to music, but most days it was just off because it's just a lot. It was a lot of killing. And what is frustrating is that the laws of the country doesn't change. Every 5 years, the people go out and elect these legislators who would get wealthy, they get fat, they get rich, and they change laws that's going to allow them to continue to be exercise no integrity, and they're not held accountable. Like right now, we have a sitting MP that was charged with all counts of taking people money when his party was in power, but he's still sitting in the House because they didn't change the law where he could sit there until he's found guilty. You understand? So even though he's charged before the court, he still gets to sit in the House of Assembly. And I think it's a disgrace because what kind of example he's being to us, the other young people around here, that you can commit a crime, or be alleged or accused of committing a crime and be charged by the court in the country, but you still get to go sit in the highest house, the highest position in the country as a sitting MP. Sit down until that's over with. Excuse me. But that's, and then the laws don't change. We must be the only country in the world where a person could be charged with murder and he get bail, and he'll come out and kill somebody else and get charged with a second murder case, and he'll get bail, and he'll come out and kill somebody else and he'll get bail. That's what's been happening in this country. So murderers walking about the street, killing, and they go before the court and they get bail. You understand me? The other day, I think this week, someone who was out on bail was charged with raping 3 people, on bail for murder, and charged with raping 3 people. Rape a man, a male, and 2 females. So we are living here, and it's concerning. So based on everything that's happening, I was praying to leave. I had already taken down everything in my house. Don't mind me, I was doing these videos and you had the camera sitting there anyway, but everything was off my wall. I was packing to go. I tell my 2 children, tell me, get up out of here. And I was praying to leave. But my plans wasn't coming together. It wasn't coming together. So I said, okay, I know how the Father deals with me, so I went on a fast. And I know I've alluded to it. But that's why I had to go on a fast. I went on a 40-day fast. Because you don't know me. Once I get something and I'm while I was on this fast, I'm saying, Father, what do you want me to do? Because I'm ready to get up out of here. I can't take no more. I can't take what seems to be a spirit of insanity and disgrace in this country where people sit down and they walk around and everybody act like they don't see and they don't hear, they don't understand what they're doing. But what it is that because it's not affecting them, you understand me? And it doesn't matter. You understand me? And you got a pile of children that being raped and molested and everything else. But we have people would not come out to one protest. They would not make any demands on the politician, but they will go out and just be excited that their MP, their politician is in power. So I got just, I listen, when I tell you I had it with the people in this country. I just want to, something. I go to work, I came home, and that was me. I didn't get involved. I didn't listen to the news. I didn't know what was going on because after hearing it so much, began to play on your mind. But all I was passing, the Holy Spirit said to me, the Ruach Akadee said to me, you gotta get involved. I guess he was telling me you can't be sitting there with your head in the sand like a ostrich. You have to get involved. It bothers you, so get involved. He said to me one day when I was driving, get involved with the civic community and civic society. And to confirm that it was at that same time, a baby girl was killed by her mother's boyfriend, and it was alleged that he had raped her too, but the MP came and said no, it wasn't so. But of course ain't many people believe them because we know there's cover-up stuff. So yeah, so the next day that the father spoke that to me, my sister, because I wasn't into the news, she sent me something on WhatsApp where an organization was I planned a demonstration or protest and for this baby girl. So when I saw it, I said, okay, let me go out, because I used to go out to the different protests, and I said, let me go. So I went and met the organizer, whom I turned out that I knew, and I told her I needed to get involved, I needed to join. And so by the time I joined, that would have been October of 2021. And the following year, I was invited to be a part of the board. And I was also able to join another organization that focused specifically on child advocacy. The first group was focused on women issues. And the second one I joined was focusing on legislation, advocating for the passing of legislation as it relates to child protection. They were asking for when children are missing that they would send an alert. In the last few days, we've had like 2 alerts because there are 2 young men now that are missing. We've been having a lot of missing children. And so this group, Rise Bahamas, was advocating for that. And along with another bill, the little baby that died, the neighbors, after she was killed, the neighbors came out and said, oh, we used to see this and we hear that, but we didn't want to get in nobody's business. So the bill is asking that the law makes everyone accountable. That if you see something, you would say something, and if you don't say something, you'll be charged. So that's another bill that this group is advocating for, because in this country, people see things and turn their head and act like they ain't see. So this bill, it will be called Bella's bill, because the baby name is Bella, is asking the government to put in law that when you as a neighbor, an auntie, an uncle, a teacher, know a child is being abused, and you sit there and don't say nothing, you will spend time or you'll be fine. You'll be treated just like the criminal. And we have to do something. And I'm all in agreement with it. Everybody should be held accountable, because how could you sit down knowing a child is being abused and don't say anything? So anyway, the father told me to get involved. I got involved, and by being involved, I've been a part of a lot of seminars. I've been a part of a lot of Zoom meetings that deals with advocating, and I've been for these rights, these bills. I've been a part of training sessions with the Attorney General office, looking at different bills. So it's opened a lot of opportunities for me to sit and really learn and get knowledge And I was also a part of, invited to speak on, I think, 2 or 3 radio shows. And so I was able to share my personal testimony because one, I was invited to an event that was giving persons who have been experienced rape and any form of sexual assault and rape, giving them a voice. It was a platform for them to speak, to tell their story. And so when I sat and I listened to those young women telling their story, I never told my story. I never talk about it publicly. And I began to feel very uneasy because I realized that I needed to. I needed to. So, and after that, I was able to listen to, invited to a Zoom meeting, and another young lady told her horrific story of how she was, at the first meeting, while I'm getting there, the young lady told how she was raped. She was gang raped. Another young woman, a woman now, told about how she was raped and got pregnant and was in abusive relationships. And both ladies, now Christians, were saying how God allowed these things to happen to them. And so when I heard that, I was like, no. He didn't allow it. And that's some of the things that we say. We say, oh, God allowed this, and why God allowed that, and God allowed whatever. And so I was, I was very sad about their story. It was horrific, very horrific, the experience that they've had. But my thing at that time was to say to them, even though I understand what you're saying that God allowed you so that you can be a testimony to someone else, but He didn't allow it. And that's what I want to speak to you about. Yeah, I didn't allow it. So after that, I was on a Zoom meeting where another young woman told us a terrible story of how her mother chose the boyfriend over her, knew the boyfriend was molesting her, and did absolutely nothing. In fact, began to blame her and pushed her aside, wanted her to lie, or when it was reported, told her to go and lie and said it didn't happen. And I think after that point her and her mother still didn't have a good relationship. And she too said, but God allowed it. But that night I was like, okay, well, enough. I interrupted and I said, no, sis. You didn't have to have an experience to be a witness for someone else. You understand me? The Father didn't allow, you didn't have to go through that. I mean, the Father is merciful. He turned things around for good. And now that you have been through it, since you've been through it, your experience can be an encouragement or help to someone else. But to say that the Father allowed it to happen to you, no, that's not the case. And I'm going to show you why I'm saying that. I told her, no, your mother, the parents have a duty and a responsibility, and this is what I told her, to protect their children. I said to her, what we value, we protect. And that has been, when I'm asked to speak, I was asked to speak at I didn't know, at a demonstration a few weeks ago, and I started off by saying, in fact, I got it on my shirt, what you value, you protect. And that night when I was speaking to the young lady, that came into my spirit, what you value, you protect. And people protect what they want to protect. But if your parents are going to choose to protect their house, their car, their clothes, everything, they put insurance on over their children, it tells you what you value. And that's what we've been dealing with. The value of a child in this country. There's no value. Children have no value. It's like they have no worth. You understand me? They're treated like commodities, and the lowest commodity, because in some incidents, people treat their cars better than they treat their children, because some people don't want their children eating and doing in their car. You understand me? So you value things over your children. And that's what I said. What we value, we protect. And so I have, that had me so bothered. So I want to speak to my sisters who would have experienced like myself, and I was able to share my story publicly on the radio, of my experiences as a child with sexual assault, which I had a few, which really traumatized me up to 2021. When I spoke on this video, I said I had to go on a 3 weeks fast. The Father revealed to me that my response and my reaction to males was being out of that trauma from a child. And he said to me, take back your power. Because what used to happen to me as a child is that I was always held down and forcibly, aggressively filled up, and they got this sexual gratification from fooling all over my body. And a terrible experience where I was on the beach and a strange man just came and decided he was going to put his hand in my pants. I was about 7, and it had me messed up. And I blamed myself for years as the reason it happened, because I allowed it, it was something I was doing. So shame and embarrassment, never talked about it. But I reacted and responded to man, because I felt as if for me to say no was something wrong. In my head, I used to have this fight, like I had to say yes, I had to give in. And even though many times I didn't, what bothered me was the fight that I used to have. Like when I didn't do it, I felt like I was doing something wrong, and that is what I was praying about. And the Father said to me, take back your power. You're no longer a child. You're an adult. No man have the right to touch or see your body unless he is your husband. No one. You understand me? And from then to now, I feel empowered and very comfortable for the first time in my life in my skin as a woman. That I can say no. I don't owe you nothing. Your sexual need is not my business. I don't need to know. You're not my husband. I don't need to know what you're dealing with. You deal with that however you want to. And so, sisters, I want to speak to you tonight regarding that. I want to say to you, sisters, YAH did not allow it. YAH did not allow it. And I want to read to you from the book of Yahweh. This book have written out the laws, and they have it into categories. So I'm going to read to you, the structure that the Most High had put in place to protect us. That's what the law is for our protection. You understand me? And so YAH put in place a structure and an order to protect women. You understand me? And what has been happening because we don't follow the law of the Most High. This is why now we have what we have in our society. You understand? So I'm going to read. This is called Sinful Relationships. This is 330. A man must not have sexual relationship with his mother. Leviticus 18:7. A man must not have sexual relationship with his father's wife. Leviticus 18:8. A man must not have sexual relationship with his half-sister. Leviticus 18:11. A man must not have sexual relations with his son's daughter. Leviticus 18:10. A man must not have sexual relationship with his daughter's daughter. Leviticus 18:10. A man must not have sexual relations with his daughter. Leviticus 18:10. A man must not marry a woman and her daughter. Leviticus 18:17. A man must not marry a woman and her son's daughter. Leviticus 18:17. A man must not marry a woman and her daughter's daughter. Leviticus 18:17. A man must not have sexual relations with his father's sister. Leviticus 18:12. A man must not have sexual relations with his mother's sister. Leviticus 18:13. A man must not have sexual relations with his father's brother's wife. Leviticus 18:14. A man must not have sexual relations with his daughter-in-law. Leviticus 18 and 15, a man must not have sexual relations with his brother's wife. Leviticus 18 and 16, a man must not have sexual relations with one wife in the dwelling of another. Leviticus 18 and 18, a man must not approach a menstruous woman for sexual relations or in any way to become ritually unclean by her. Leviticus 18 and 19, do not commit adultery. Leviticus 18 and 20, a man must not have sexual relations with an animal. Leviticus 18 and 23, a man must not have sexual relationship with an animal. A woman must not have sexual relationship with an animal. Leviticus 18 and 23, a man must not have sexual relationship with another man. Leviticus 18 and 22, a man must not have sexual relations with a woman betrothed to another man. Leviticus 19 and 20, a man must not lust after any woman forbidden to him. Leviticus 18 and 6, a man must not have sexual relations with a woman until he has lawfully acquired her in marriage. Exodus 22, 16 and 17. Do not allow your daughter to play the harlot, allowing her to commit fornication. Leviticus 19 and 29. Okay? A man must not have sexual relations with a woman who returns to him after having sexual relations with another man. Deuteronomy 24 and 4. So that is the structure that the Most High put in place. And I specifically wanted to focus on Exodus 22, 16 and 17. A man must not have sexual relations with a woman until he has lawfully acquired her in marriage. That's the law of the Most High. So that's the order, that's the structure that he put in place. And that was to protect women, right? And so the Father didn't allow a man. Men have been doing it because they have been defying the word of the instructions of the Most High. They're not obedient to the Most High. You understand? So according to Leviticus, a man should not touch a female until he has legally obtained her as his woman, his wife. That is the law instruction of the Most High. That is YAH's moral standard. She is not your wife. Don't touch her. But we are so far from that. And we have moved from the law and standard of the Most High. That's why we are having the sexual violence and rape and sexual assault that we have been experiencing. Because we don't follow the law of the Most High. And see, Christianity teaches that these laws are done away with. So a lot of people don't even know what is written in the quote-unquote Old Testament because they don't read it. And it was so amazing to me that when the Ruach HaKodesh told me to write, I wrote all of Leviticus 18 on Facebook. All of it. And I did a video on it here. But right after that, it's like all you were hearing about, and I'm going to read some of the headlines right after that. Because when the Ruach told me to write it, I was like, what? Write it? Why? And right after that, the first report after that was where a young man, a 14-year-old or whatever boy, was sleeping with a 12-year-old. And from then, the stories were just coming out. Because you see, the only thing in Leviticus 18, the church preach on, is a man sleeping with a man. But you hear all of those sexual sins, and all of that is what's been happening in our society. But the people don't know because it's not being taught. But I want to read to you now Deuteronomy 22, 23 to 27. If a man be found lying with a woman, 23. If a damsel, that's a virgin, be betrothed unto a man, and a man find her in the city and lie with her, then ye shall bring them both out unto the gate of that city, and ye shall stone them with stones, that they die. The damsel, because she cried not, being in the city, And the man, because he has humbled his neighbor's woman, so you shall put away evil from amongst you. Do you hear that? So if a man found a woman, a damsel of marrying age, out somewhere, and he decided to have sex with her, they were both supposed to be stoned because, number one, the woman, because she didn't cry out. She didn't cry out, sound the alarm that this man had sexually had sex with her. So it shows that she was a willing participant if you weren't crying out, right? And the man, because he humbled, he was not supposed to do that because that was not his wife. He wasn't supposed to touch her. So this is the law that the Father put in place. He say, stone them both, so you could rid yourself from the sin, from among, put the evil from among you. 25. But if a man find a betrothed damsel in the field, meaning engaged to someone, and the man force her and lie with her, see the word force, mean rape, then the man only that lay with her shall die. But unto the damsel you shall do nothing. There is in the damsel no sin worthy of death. For as when a man rises against his neighbor and slays him, even so is this matter. For he found her in the field, and the betrothed damsel cried, and there was none to save her. You see? So that is the law that the Most High put in place for the protection of women. A man was not supposed to touch a woman if that was not legally, that they already went through the rituals of obtaining her to be his wife. So the Father didn't allow, is not allowing you to be raped or allowed her to be sexually assaulted. Women is experiencing sexual assault because man have decided that they are not going to obey the law of the Most High or the law of the land. Since YAH did not allow you to be raped, molested, sexually assaulted, or violently abused so you can be a witness to someone else, it should never have happened based on the law of the Most High. I want to look at the word allowed. I want you to look at it. When we say someone allow it, this is the meaning of allow. Let someone have or do something. It gives a picture to me of the Father standing there and he just watching this man violently rape you and he didn't do anything. YAH is a spirit. YAH is a spirit. You understand me? And everything that Father's gonna do, he gave us the power to do it. That's why he gave us the law. And he was not happy about it because he gave man a mandate to protect. The Greek word for allow, 490, to think well of and comment, that is assent, to feel gratified with, allow, assent, be pleased, have pleasure. The Father didn't have no pleasure. Is not pleased with a man raping a woman. That's why he gave us the law. That's why he put the law in place. He's not pleased with that. You understand me? Greek 4:3-2:1-2:7, to admit, to intercourse, hospitality, credence, or figuratively endurance, by implication to await with confidence or patience, accept, allow, look, wait, forsake. You understand me? So the Father is not allowing didn't allow us to be raped or sexually assaulted. He got no pleasure from that. Absolutely none. And we didn't have to go through that in order to be, we're not supposed to experience it. We should not experience. So based on the meaning of those words, when we say YAH allow us to be sexually violated, we are misrepresenting him. We are misrepresenting him, or we do not know and understand him. And worse, we are agreeing with those who do not believe in him and blamed him every time a child is hurt because they are looking for any opportunity to discredit him. And I was very hurt when I heard the young women saying that, even though I understood where they were coming from. But it said to me, you don't understand the Father and the love that he had for us and the protection that he had put in place for us. It grieves his heart to see that man would go and intentionally abuse and sexually violate one of his daughters. Yah takes no pleasure in that. And when people say, oh, why God allowing this and he allowing that, he ain't allowing it. The Father put structure in place. Man is allowing it. You and I are allowing it. When we sit down and don't say anything, when we sit down and we don't agitate for the laws to be implemented, we are allowing it. That's who is allowing it. Those who want to sit back and be quiet and act as if it ain't their business, you're allowing it. That's why I'm happy for Bella's bill, that everyone will be held responsible. See, y'all didn't do it, but we don't follow that. You understand? We give their unbelief fidelity. And I feel very, very bad when I hear our sisters say our father allowed them to be raped. That hurt me to the core. That hurt me. And that's what prompted me having to do with this tonight. The Most High, our Abba Father, established a structure from the beginning in which females are to be protected by the male. Man is the protector. Females are now being violently, sexually violated because we have moved away from the order of the Most High. The Most High gave us his law as it relates to sexual relations, which I read in Leviticus. And the law was to maintain order in the structure that he established, man and the home and the family. But we are not following his laws and his instructions. Females are being raped because we live now in a rape culture. There is no value put on the female or her body. And unfortunately, and I have to say this, and I'm not blaming, I'm just pointing out, even the females do not appear to have a high value on themselves as a result, have contributed to their own devaluing. I maybe have to talk about that. But women have been contributing to their own devaluing. You understand me? By some of our actions. You know? By the sometimes the way, and no woman have a right to be touched or assaulted. You understand me? No woman have a right to be assaulted or touched. But sometimes our conduct, and not in terms of saying getting raped, but just how we relate to man. Some of the things we say, and it stems from the same wicked feminist movement where you feel as if you could now go and have as many men as you want. That's what led to the devaluing of a woman. You understand me? When women begin to treat their bodies like sex objects. You see? When you can take a couple dollars, or you can ask for a Gucci bag or some shoes, and you can have sex for $30 and stuff. That's what led to the devaluing of a woman. So men now see you and no respect. So, hallelujah. We no longer have a moral standard. Many females do not even know that the male is supposed to be the protector. And I want to emphasize, I'm not blaming victims. You understand? I'm not blaming those who would have went through. I just want you to understand that the father did not, and we have an obligation and a moral responsibility first to ourselves to maintain a standard. I did a video when I first started, dress the way you want to be addressed. You understand me? From I started wearing my head covered every day. I notice men now stand on the side and look at me. But the way I used to be approached by males, I don't get that. And I feel so good. Sometimes I just won't go out without this off, and I just be like, no child. Let me put this on. Sometimes I'm very close to just going out and don't have it on. I say, I can keep it on. Especially when it's very hot. I be no child. Because from I've been wearing this, I get less attention from males. They look at me, and then I see someone say, oh, you say evangelist? I say evangelist? So they looking at me and saying, this a preaching woman, this a praying woman. Praise Yah. Hallelujah. So that's what has prompted me to keep this on my head. So, And I have a responsibility to defend the name of the Most High. I do. And that's what I'm doing. To defend his name, his honor, and his character, because I know the Most High gave us 613 laws. 613 for our protection. Sis, if you trust, and I want to say this, and I want you to hear me. If you trust a male to go out with him on a date, you should have the confidence that he will also protect you and prevent all sexual assault and injuries. One of the young ladies spoke about how she was out with her boyfriend and she was sexually assaulted. He got out of the car and left her in the car by herself, went to one building, went inside the building and left her. And two men came and saw her and got in the car and drove away with her. And her boyfriend was upset. He thought, he came as they were driving away, so he just thought that she had left with two men. That was his thing. And I was like, that's your girlfriend, why would you even think? He didn't even think danger. He thought that she just went drive away, and I don't even think he was looking or something. It was an awful story what she experienced. And the way her boyfriend handled it. You understand me? Because he believed that she just went driving off with the man in the car. And she experienced that was an horrific experience. So, you going out with a man on a date, you should trust him and know him well enough to know that he is going to, one, not be the one to rape you, and two, protect you, not leave you in harm's way. Because see, her boyfriend should have never left her there in the dark. He should have told her, okay, let's go in the building together. You understand me? And this is what men don't understand about being a protector. You're always protecting. It's after 12 o'clock in the night. Why you getting out of the car and leaving your girlfriend in the car by yourself? This is the kind of thing. You say, no, come, let's go. You going with me. That's what protected us. You don't leave something that you value in harm's way. You don't do that. But our men need to be told, and they need to be taught. So if your parents trust a male to take you out, your parents are saying that they trust the male to protect you. It is the parents' job to do their due diligence to ensure that the male coming for their daughter is of reputable character. Some of these women don't even know who taking their daughter out. I was somewhere one night and the car pulled up. I was talking to the mother and she said, oh, someone come for you. And I stand there and I say, someone? And the little girl jump in the car and gone. I say, someone? You don't even know who that is. Come pick up your child. Child, I not here. Not here, child. To ensure that the male coming for their daughter is of reputable character. Unfortunately, many parents today do not even meet the male before the daughter goes out with him. And we have to stop it. And then we want blame. Oh God, this and no, it's you. We do not follow the law, statute, and commandments of the Most High. We have perverted the way of YAH. And I want to look at the word pervert because we use it a lot. To distort, or corrupt the original cause, meaning or state of something. See, the original cause of the Most High was his law. And we have perverted that. We have changed that. You understand? We have made the word and the law of Most High not effect by our actions, by our doing. Everything the Father established for us, we changed. We gone away from it. You understand me? To lead someone away from what is considered natural or acceptable. That's what pervert means. In the Hebrew, to knot or distort, figuratively to pervert, act or declare perverse, make crooked, prove that is perverse. Another meaning, H557, a primitive root properly to wrench, that is figuratively to subvert, overthrow, pervert. H5186, stretch out, spread out, extend, incline, bend. You see, oh no, I ain't all that. You don't have to do all of that. No, it's okay. You can go out, it's okay. You know, that's okay. It ain't that serious. Oh, you don't have to carry on, you know, Sammy. The law of the Most High. You see? He established some stuff for you to say, I sure he mean that. It ain't mean like that. It ain't mean like that. Like y'all was retarded. Like he don't know what he's saying. Greek 1294, to the store that is misinterpreted or morally corrupt, perverse, turn away. In this Western European culture, a male feels as if he has a right to touch a female. We have perversed the way of YAH. You understand me? YAH say don't touch. She's not your wife, don't touch her. But the day they act as if they don't touch you and you act up, they want to curse you or they want to say all kind of mean and nasty things to you. But YAH say don't touch. Unless that male has legally obtained you as his woman, he has no right to touch you. If a male sees a female and the first thought on his mind is sex, and he knows he has no intentions of marriage but will force, coerce, and manipulate, he is perverted. He has distorted, morally corrupt, and turned away from the way of YAH. That is perversion. And we are living in a time in which this behavior is prevalent and accepted. And most time when the woman female object, oh, you think you all this, oh, you think that, and oh, they say, okay, I know as a teenager what I used to experience. They carry on bad with you. You understand? That is perversion. We have perverted the way of YAH. YAH said a man should not touch a female unless he has already paid the bridal price. And if he does touch her before then, he is to pay the bridal price. And she is to be his covenant woman. And that's depending on if the father agrees. The order structure of the Most High was that a woman was to have one man. See, we perverted the way of YAH. You can have as many now as you like. Every relationship you go in, you're expected to have sex. You understand? It was never YAH's design for female to have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 11, 100 partners, sexual partners. But it's now so accepted. Oh, you think, yes, you think you're than other better people, why you can, and da da da. You understand me? Expected to sexually please a man who's not your husband. And I thank the Father for deliverance. That's what I struggle with. This thing to please. I used to fight like, oh, you have to. And in my head, I used to be in here like, why fight like this? And the Father said, because when you were young, they took you and they said, oh, you have, and you, and don't say, and da da da. So in my head and my psyche, I thank the Father for delivering me. So now I say, Charlie, ain't my business. I don't even need to know. Ain't my business. And I told somebody, they look at me, like, what? I said, no, you think, no, that ain't my business, sweetie. But it is also accepted now to get into a relationship and sex is expected. And marriage is probably never discussed. Okay? Protectors are now predators and pedophiles. I want to read to you some recent headlines. Grandfather stand trial on 2 accounts of indecent assault on his 14-year-old granddaughter. Man gets 4 years for unlawful sex with 13-year-old girl in only 4 years. Police investigate sexual assault of a 12-year-old girl on Park. This was in April, I think. Later, the 34-year-old man, it found out that it was a 34-year-old man who was on bail twice. He did this thing on a 15-year-old and I think a 13-year-old, and now it's a 12-year-old. So they gave him bail twice. And he came out after the second time of getting bail and sexually assaulted a 12-year-old in broad daylight while she was playing in the park. Child abuse cases up near 50% in the first 3 months of this year in the Bahamas. A dad forced his 16-year-old to masturbate in the front of him at gunpoint. This was last year, but this year the case was thrown out. Police dad charged with unlawful sexual intercourse of 10-year-old daughter for 2 years. That was a couple weeks ago. A police officer convinced his 10-year-old daughter that it was okay for him to have sex with her, and he slept with her for 2 years. And she confided in someone else, not even her mother. I still haven't heard from the mother. Except that I heard somebody saying she didn't want his name released. 70-year-old man caught by wife on top of an 8-year-old girl. This 70-year-old man was a serial rapist. When they gave his sheet, he was raping from that time. The question is, why was he out? And now at 70. Last victim, 8-year-old girl. but they gave his rap, whatever they call it. And I mean, year after year, this is what he was doing. Brother charged with sexual intercourse with sister. 59-year-old male bus driver put his hand under the dress of an 11-year-old girl as she was leaving the bus. May 15th, recent, a man 52 accused of molesting his 11-year-old stepdaughter was remanded to prison. These were some headlines. The male from the beginning was assigned to protect the female. The male is out of order because he has moved away from his created purpose as protector. The protector is now the predator. The protectors are now pedophiles. So females are raped, sexually violated, not because y'all allowed it, but because the males who are supposed to protect them are now inflicting harm. When males can see a young girl walking alone and their first instinct is to rape her and cause her further harm instead of functioning in their role as to protect her, to find out what is wrong, why you out so late, it proves that some of the male minds had a reprobate state. We have become perverted. When a 16-year-old is walking late at night and two males see her, and instead of finding out if she needs help, they abduct her and rape her, we're in trouble. Little girl, 12-year-old, on the park playing, and a 35-year-old man could see her and sexually assault her. The minds of all the men have become perverted, and not only men, because women are doing it too. I have just heard a story of a young woman who used to be my student. She told of how the woman that her mother was leaving her with was molesting her. When a man can have sex with his daughter, when grown males can be charged for repeatedly raping children, the male is not functioning in the image and likeness of of what he was created for. Parents are supposed to protect the children. Parents are supposed to protect the children. Psalms 127:3. Lo, children are heritage of YAH, and the fruit of the womb is his reward. Parents, the egg and the sperm that came together to create the child, are supposed to protect the child from all forms of abuse. The dad is to protect his family, but now we have many dads raping their daughters. Mothers are choosing their boyfriends over their children. It is a job of the parents to protect their child from predatory situations, not facilitate them. What is happening to children and what has happened to many children in the past many years is a result of the value we, the parents, the society, have placed on children. Children are not valued. What you value, you protect. Some parents buy the most expensive furniture, credited, layaway, buy cash, borrow to get it, but your children can't sit on it. The children can't eat in your car because you don't want the chairs dirty. You would not let anyone or anything or anyone just use your car. You will not let any and everyone sit in your house. But if you want to go out, anyone who's available can keep the children. You just drop them off the house. You don't even go inside the house to see who's there. You understand me? How you think your child will be safe in the house with the uncle, the brother, the cousin, the family friend who sexually assaulted or raped you and your cousin? And this is what's happening. You know your uncle, your brother did it to you. Why you think they can do it to your child? I got an invitation to a baby shower when my daughter was an infant in my hand. Church function, church baby shower. And when I opened it, it said no children allowed. As I was walking out of the church, I dropped it in the garbage because I was like, I have a child. How you can tell me come to an event and my child is not allowed to come? And that was my mindset. So I didn't go anywhere if my children were not invited. But we don't do that. You understand me? I had some mothers saying, oh, you put yourself in bondage. You put yourself in bondage because my child, I'm staying to protect my child. What is the value you have upon your child or children? Mothers who choose boyfriends over their children, the stories are many. You mothers are facilitators of predatory, sexual, abusive actions towards your child. How do you let a man move into your house whom you have known for a few weeks? You are not even sure the name he told you is the correct one, and he's already living with you. How are you letting a male who just came from prison move into your house with you and your children? It's happening. Some sisters have to stop acting so desperate for a male. Acting desperate. You understand? Like sex going to ain't change. It get more nasty and perverted. Overrated. How does a father get sexual pleasure from his child? How does a father get a sexual erection from their child? A perverted, reprobate mind. Parents are failing their children. Parents are not providing the protection that children need and deserve, and what the father expected parents to do. Too many parents allow the TV and video games to raise their children. Too many parents allow institution and organization to raise and influence their children. And I'm going to talk about it because now these same institutions and TVs and things is now what's being used to pervert your children's minds. See how it turned back on you? Now everybody upset. Now you send your children to school and now the school allowing this one to teach them and the next one to teach them. And you're supposed to be doing yourself. You send your child to reading, writing, and arithmetic. How they get more? That's why I told someone I was never in agreement for sex education in the school. I didn't send my child to school for you to teach them about sex. I sent them to school for you to teach them reading, writing, arithmetic. All of these things were opening doors. You understand me? Let me teach my children anything else. How I know who you are to teach my children about sex and all the teachers then perverted. What is happening to our children now is a result of the value we have placed on our children. Parents, what you value, you protect. You take an insurance on your house and your car. What insurance you have out on your children? What insurance you give them? When you dropping them off to somebody's house that they're not gonna be molested. One woman talk about she went to the hospital sick and her mommy took the cousin with her. And when the mommy went out to get the doctor, the cousin, while she laying on that bed sick, the cousin put his hand in his pants and was feeling up. 7-year-old child. Y'all did not allow it to happen. Parents are the facilitators of their children's abuse. It is time to put the blame where it belongs. Yah gave the children to parents as gifts. It is the parents' responsibility and duty to protect their children. We have a society of pedophiles. We do not talk about it. We do not identify them for who they are. See, that's our problem. We don't identify the pedophiles. I want to read a poem to you that I wrote. I wrote this, was it Monday? Last Monday. Pedophiles everywhere. In the homes, schools, churches, hospitals, here in the Bahamas. The focus is on protecting the identities of pedophiles. This is why we can't get a sex offenders registry. We want to protect them. We don't want no harm come to the pedophiles. Instead of protecting the virginities of children, we see the homosexuals. We see them. And we hate them. For they are what's wrong in the society, some say. But we don't see the pedophiles. We only see the homosexuals. We don't see the pedophiles. Why? Because they are us. Our teachers, our preachers, our politicians, our priests, our police, our doctors, our lawyers. We call them leaders. See, we don't see them because we have them on this pedestal. You understand me? And we love our leaders. But we hate the homosexuals. We love our leaders. Oh, how we love our pedophiles. Because we call them our leaders. You understand me? Pedophiles everywhere. They are our family, mummies, daddies, aunties, uncles, our good cousins, brothers, sisters, and our best friends. Pedophiles, they are the root of our social ills. But we don't see them. We don't see them. Because we call them leaders. We call them family. We don't see them. But how we love them. We love them because they are our leaders. and they are family. We love them because they are us. I just wrote that. So that's the end. And I want to say to my brothers, my sisters, who have overcome child sexual molestation and sexual rape and assault as a child, y'all love us. Y'all's concerned about us. It was never the Father's intention for us to experience what we experienced. But we experience it, and children are experiencing it because the heart and minds of the people who were supposed to protect us have been perverted. They have opened themselves up to darkness, satanic darkness. They have allowed themselves to be agents of Satan. You understand? And that's why it's happening. We have turned away from the law of the Most High. And when we get back to following Yah's law, statute, and commandments, when parents begin to value their children as the gift that the Father gave to them, it'll stop. It'll stop. Because you can be very concerned and cautious as to who's around your child. You can begin to fight the government to fix the laws. You will fight the government so they will not keep releasing sexual offenders out. That 12-year-old should not have been molested by that, or sexually assaulted by that man, because he should have not been given bail. Twice bail for the same offense? Where? Why? See, but when parents become angry enough and demand that they keep the criminals up in the prison, I made a post, and people, I know they read them, but they don't respond, because see, my post is, I tell them like a feeling. Keep them up there. You say the prison ain't no space, let them live out in the yard. They want to act like animals. Like how it's raining now, put one tent up, let them all sit out under the tent, but keep them up there. Because what sense it is for you to send them out here for them to continue to rape and bring harm to other people? That make any sense? They wanted to be, they didn't want to live in society and be normal. You understand me? They wanted to be out acting like animals, so send them up to the prison, let them stay in the prison. We don't need them out here. You see, but no, we just get sympathetic and say, oh, yeah, you being so whatever, you being whatever. You understand me? I made a vow to the Most High. See the two children I have? When my daughter turned 20, she said, Mommy, you did a good job. My daughter just got her Facebook page, I think when she turned 18. My son still don't have one. You understand me? They don't need it. She said to me, Mommy, you did a good job protecting us. I've never been touched or held inappropriately by a man or anything like that. You understand? Because I made a vow to the Father. You see, I didn't understand how this law is in this country. So I understand, promise the Most High, I can deal with him myself, and then I can go turn myself into the police. That was a promise I made. See, when you have mothers like that, and that's why I didn't leave my children, nobody. When their daddy wanted to take them up, I tell them, night, sleep over. Come, no, I don't know your sister boyfriend. My child ain't sleeping nowhere. I don't know your sister boyfriend. I don't know your daddy and your uncles and all of them. No, hell no, it was not going to happen. So when he pick up, I going to take a child. I remember one day, I was cooking. And he come, I going to take a child. I turn off that pot, grab on my slippers, and I walk out behind him. All us going. All of us went. Not me. You understand me? That was my gift. The Father told me he gave me gifts in my two children. I am to protect them, and I've done that, and I'm still doing it. So you have to decide as a parent the value you have put on your children. You see what I'm saying? And like I've been saying, what you value, you protect. So what is the value you place on your children? Because see, when you begin to value them, you are going to demand more. You will not sit down and be comfortable in a country where people who are supposed to be protecting are causing harm to your children. You won't be comfortable there. You'll be out on the street too. You'll be out demanding the laws be changed. And until we come together as a collective and demand it, unfortunately, sad, some child will unfortunately experience the horrific act of rape and sexual assault. And it doesn't have to be. You understand me? But the parents, those who are supposed to be protecting, are now the predators. Anyway, just want to express that. I have a few things. I'm just going to express it. You understand me? Well, if you don't like it, then I guess you'll have to unsubscribe. But y'all be all the praise and all the glory. I've had enough of a lot of stuff. So, shalom, shalom to you. I hope that you hear and understand, and I hope that you begin to protect your children and your family. And man, those of you walking around with your Bible and always want to be quoting and thing, play your role. Be the protector in your home. Watch over your wife and your children. Shalom, shalom. Love you. May Yah bless you. Shalom.